Okay, let's go. So Shadow of the Colossus is a pretty interesting speedrun because there's not a lot of glitches, but the game has a very interesting physics engine. So this is the first Colossus that you would normally fight in the game, and you can also see that there's a timer on the screen. The timer is in-game because this is like a time trial that you could do. During that cutscene, I'm able to move, but I actually messed it up. The idea is that I moved during the cutscene where he's crouching down, and because I'm doing that, I will be able to get on his head like that, but I got it second try. And this time not during the cutscene. Most cutscenes you cannot move during, so... Now, this is very... very familiar for everyone, probably. Just getting shaken around, not being able to do anything. So you just gotta kill the Colossus, pretty much. You can do a jump stab finish. Okay, I didn't have enough damage. But yeah, that's the first Colossus. A jump stab finish would be faster because the animation is quicker. Just the recovery from the stab is a bit slow, so that's why you wouldn't use it all the time. Because of the physics engine of the game, some interesting skips are possible, but they're also quite difficult to do. The first boss is not that difficult. The second boss is pretty straightforward. Rolling is slightly faster than running, but it makes hardly any difference. At least for my skill level, because I'm basically just starting out learning this game. And NTR is a good category in order to get into the speedrun and eventually learn the real speedrun, the any %. So this boss, every Colossus has weaknesses. This boss has a weakness underneath his feet, so you need to shoot that. And then he will kneel down and you can climb it. What is Agro doing? Dumb horse. So the first Colossus had one sigil, as we named that. The sigil is where the Colossus takes his damage. That's its weak spot. And this Colossus has two sigils. It's one on his butt, this one, and then there's another one on his head. I think most Colossus have one sigil on their head, but not every one of them. I'm just jumping here a bit to avoid some of the shakes that he's doing. So if I walk forward here and I grab him in the right spot, he's not going to be able to shake me out of my grab. And this is called a plant. If you get the plant on Quadratus, you can just stab away without having to worry about getting knocked over or staggering, falling all over the place like Wonder is supposed to do. So in this game you have like 3 weapons or so, or 2 weapons basically. You have the sword and you have the bow. And the sword is basically to do all the damage, And the bow is used to like shoot this feed from this Colossus, maybe shoot another Colossus on its weak spot, and small stuff like that. You also have your normal hands, but they don't really do anything. So this Colossus is actually really difficult. If you're trying to do the skip, you're probably gonna fail. This is, I think it's called the bracelet skip, because he has like a bracelet along his arm. And you want to skip that. I'm like in such a weird position that's not gonna work. Yeah, whatever. Well, I guess I can try again. Skip is really difficult because you need to be in the right spot on the sword, and then you need to start walking in a certain pattern, in a certain direction along the sword. And then there's a timing to the jump that you can do. And if you don't get it, it's obviously very annoying. Now the good thing about normal time attack is that you can actually just retry instantly, which I probably should have done. Let's see if I can get it. This might be okay. No, I didn't get it. Well, that didn't work either. I'm just gonna retry. Can be quite annoying to get it. And the first bosses are not even the easiest. There we go. Now just hold on to his hand for a little bit. And what this allows me to do is get to the belly sigil, except that it's just not really working. Like, he's currently doing his hand swing animation, which makes it pretty much free to stab his belly sigil. And this one is really hard to actually stab because you get shaken off a lot. As you can see, I'm barely getting any stabs in because it just shakes all the time. This is really, really annoying. So the round circle on the bottom right is my stamina bar. If that runs out, I'm letting go. Okay, well, I'm gonna rest a little bit to recover some stamina. This has been a really slow boss fight. That's fine. Alright, at least I didn't fall off, you know? So, I destroyed one of the sigils, but he still has health left. And he has another sigil, obviously, on his head. You can read the donation if you want.
Alright, we actually have 2 donations. One of them is from Mr. Broad saying, "Go go Pinku." And the other one is from Plush with a astonishing 53 euro donation, saying, my boy Pink, try not to meme too hard. And with that donation, the donation incentive for the Monkey Football Showcase in Apescape 2 has been met, as well as saving Bera's mom in Kelly's Caves Free tomorrow has been set to 25 euros. Thanks for that awesome donation.
I was trying to jump off the platform because if you jump in the water here, you get a slightly faster death animation, but it's really not important. I mean, for me, it's not really important. And now one of maybe the most annoying bosses to do the trick. This boss, they call this boss Phaedra. The Shadow of the Colossus community is really old, and they basically named all the Colossus, even though they don't really have names officially. Everyone pretty much agreed on the names for the Colossus by now. So what you want to do on this boss for the speedrun strat is grab on the leg and then jump to a higher platform, and then jump from that platform to the back of the Colossus, which is just... I have the most trouble getting on the higher platform. That's the hardest part for me. Oh, wow, it didn't grab it, okay. That's quite interesting. As you can see, I can easily retry the boss. If it was like normal any percent, you would actually have to go through the world and discover the Colossuses, and it would be very much a lot more harder as well to restart the fight. Oh wow. There is a casual strat obviously for this boss, which is very different from the speedrun strat, but I don't really want to do it, because I want to show off the epic jumps that you can do in this game. There we go. I'm just gonna wait until he steps. Nice. Like, as soon as you're on the second platform, it's pretty much good. But it's really difficult to get the right jump, because you need to use the momentum from his leg moving up. Wow, why did you shake there? You have to use the momentum from the leg together with the momentum from the jump in order to make it as high as you need to. So that's okay. Let's just take it easy. Now the good thing with this boss is that it is kind of easy to get the plant. So if you get a solid grab on the head, that's called a plant. It's kind of easy to get that on the boss. So as soon as you're off, then the fight is over. That's the hard part about the fight, is just basically getting off the Colossus. There's a total of 16 Colossus in the game, and I only killed 4 of them. So there's 12 more. But some of the Colossus you will see are very easy. If you know what you're doing, that is. I don't think it's going too badly. It's going pretty okay. The next Colossus is a eagle. This one is called Avion. It's not really that hard. It's just very easy to fall off of him. The thing is with Avion, he flies, so there's a lot of wind stream going over his wings and his back, so it's very easy to fall off of him. And if you fall off, you lose a lot of time. Then maybe it might be faster to just restart the fight all together. Because if you fall off, you need to shoot him again. But this time he's actually going to be flying around. Also, sometimes if you stab the wing and he goes upside down, then you're just going to fall off regardless if you held the grab button or not. And swimming underwater here is slightly faster than just regular swimming, but if you're swimming underwater, your stamina bar becomes your oxygen. And if you're out of oxygen, you need to get some air sometimes. Yeah, let's see if he's gonna act nicely or not. Alright, I managed to clutch that. I'm not sure why I did that. He's like very vertical, so it's I don't really like this. Yeah, whatever. I was completely out of stamina because I waited too long, but I really didn't want to wait. Didn't want to fall off, that is, so that's why I waited. But then he just kept on flapping and it was just bad. So, rip. I usually don't fall off of him because I have too little stamina. But it can happen. Okay, so I shot him, but he's just gonna fly around in a circle until he finds a... Okay, there we go. Sometimes he flies around very long. It just depends on what cycle he is when you hit him. Alright, so I got 2 of the wings down now. He still has another sigil, and surprisingly, it's not on his head. The last sigil is on the tail, and it's right there. Okay, maybe not right there, maybe it's like right here. Okay, maybe not like that. There we go. The actual sigil is on the tip of his tail, but you can actually hit it from here already, so... Why go the extra mile? It's pretty pointless. Now, every time you beat a Colossus, you'll see this black spaghetti coming out of the boss, and then attacking the character that you're controlling. And that's actually because of the story purposes. There isn't really much story when you're doing NTA because you're basically just doing boss rush. So if you want to know the story, then you better play the game, I guess. I mean, I could explain it, but I don't feel like it. So boss number 6. So what you do with this boss, you jump into his hand, and then you grab his fur. And you want to grab the bracelet, like the higher one. And because of the mechanics and the physics in this game... Okay, that's not good. So I want to be up here. And then I can just jump to his head. I'm kind of concerned about my stamina because I have like very little. And that's probably gonna be rip. Oh, okay, well, whatever. That's such a dumb... I mean, you could see that I was almost on the head, but yeah, barely didn't have enough stamina. Could you stop shaking? Thank you. So you want to jump off the bracelet when he's moving it. Okay, I didn't get it. Because that wasn't the right direction, apparently. So sometimes it can get quite tedious. I think I have enough stamina right now to actually get on it, so that should be fine. Unless he just memes it up. Come on. Wow. Just really. You sometimes might see me falling off because I'm trying to jump on him, because if you're horizontal enough you can actually jump on the boss, or you can jump on surfaces, but if it's slightly too steep you're just gonna fall off. I think I'm kind of tired of this boss by now. It's not really a good spot to hang on. Crap. the struggle is real. And I just barely missed the sigil, so I didn't do a lot of damage. But I finally made it up, which took way too long. So I'm gonna wait here a little bit for my stamina to recover, because this boss has another sigil on the back. I don't really want to fall off just yet, so it's better to have some stamina for this. The Shadow of the Colossus game has certain triggers sometimes. If you do enough damage to one sigil, something is going to trigger. Like, if you do enough damage to a sigil so that it's completely gone, maybe the boss that you're fighting is going to act a different way. Or he's going to go in his second phase. And a lot of times you want to skip that. Now, this boss only has one sigil, so there's not really that much of a trigger. But whenever you damage him in any way, he has a timer, and if that timer runs out, he will go underwater again. So when I stab this boss for the first time, a certain timer is going to run in-game, and when that time runs out, he's going to go underwater again, and I have to go back on in. But we want to avoid that, because we don't want to climb on this boss twice, because that would be slow. And to avoid this, you can skip the 2 spikes on his back, and just go straight for his head. Like, casually you would just, you would do the same thing, basically. Okay, that didn't work. Casually you would just take out this spike here, because it will damage you. The spikes shoot lightning, so you don't want to get hurt by that. But because it's a speedrun, you actually skip it, and you can actually also roll, which makes it a lot faster and easier. So I haven't done any damage to the boss yet, and I'm gonna do it right now. So right now the timer is gonna start, and if that time runs out, he's gonna go underwater again. So I need to do good damage here. If I don't do enough damage yet, he's gonna go in the water, and that's really bad. And we got it. At least I didn't have to cycle him. In the cutscene you also have slide control over the camera, so you can do that. But it doesn't do much. Like, all of the cutscenes in this game play in the game engine itself, so it's really, really immersive in that way. Sometimes it takes a while before the black spaghetti reaches the body of the character, It just depends on the boss that you just killed. For this one, it's kind of long. Now, coming up next is a very easy boss. This boss also has a timer, but this timer is not a static timer. Did I go to the right boss? Well, I didn't even check. It should be. Yeah. So this boss is a lizard, and I just whistled there in order to call him, and he is going to react to that by climbing up the walls. And the higher he is up the wall, the longer he will stay stunned later on. So now he falls down, and because he was all the way up, he's going to stay down very long. So that gives me a lot of time to get on him and damage him. He does have 2 sigils, but they don't really trigger anything. It's just 2 pulls of health. Oh wow. Of course that ricocheted, you know? And jump stab finished because he was starting to move already, so I don't know if I still had that much time. Because I wasn't really fast climbing up of him, and I also missed a stab, so maybe I was a little bit slow there, but he's a really, really easy boss. So in the next boss, which is Bazaran, we're gonna see some horse riding again. And casually this boss is a nightmare, because you have to align him up with the water spitting up from the ground, and it's just such a chore. He just doesn't like to cooperate at all. I think the speedrun strats for this boss are kinda cool. So I'm just waiting for him to do this lightning. Then I'll just... Okay. Okay. Okay, I got it. So I'm already on top of his shell, which is pretty good first try. Sometimes it's a bit tricky. I grabbed on a part of his shell, which is kind of not really what you're supposed to do, but I managed to clutch it up and still get it. Right now I'm just holding on because he's actually going to act very aggressively when he's in the cave, and we don't really want that because it's just a nightmare, and you have to do jump stabs in order to deal with it, and I'm not very good at that. Plus it's very easy to fall off in that way, which is not really what you want to be doing, falling off of Colossuses. I mean, especially not one like Bazaran. Yeah, whatever. Now he has only 1 sigil, which is on his head, but he has quite a lot of health, so I'm gonna have to stab him a few times. Every time you charge a stab, the more charged it is, the more damage you're gonna do. And if you do a jump stab, it does a full stab amount of damage. And regardless of how much stamina you get, you're gonna do more damage. It's not so bad when you get on the shell and you get him out of the cave, then you can actually deal with him somewhat. So that was boss number 9 already. Now the next boss is a typical cycle boss. Because if you do too much damage to the first sigil, then the boss is going to go underneath the sand again, and you're going to have to shoot it again. And if you do the right amount of damage, you can damage his first sigil enough, and then you can finish him off on the second one. If you do too much damage, he's going to go underneath. If you do too little damage, then you cannot kill him, and he's going to go underneath after you damage the second sigil. So it's kind of precise. I'm way too far ahead of the boss. Okay, I got his eye. Now you can make this go faster by aligning the boss with the wall, so he jumps, or he actually gets into the wall quicker, but I really don't do that. Okay, that's a good stab. And that might be a good stab. I think I did the right amount of damage. And it's really precise how much damage you can do to the first sigil. So let's see if I got the actual one cycle here. Or if he's gonna go underneath the sand again. But I got it. You can also do some different strat where you just shoot arrows to the first sigil and then do 2 full stabs, but I have learned it this way and it seems to work mostly every time. So boss number 11 is one of the smallest, or even the smallest Colossus. This Colossus is tiny. This Colossus is some kind of a bull, and he is raging. But he has one weakness, and his weakness is that he's actually afraid of fire. So what you do here is you just climb up this thingy, then you jump off during the cutscene or just before the cutscene triggers, and then you can pick up the stick, roll out of the way, and then you get hit by the boss, obviously. Now this is a very annoying stun because it takes forever to get up, but you can make it a little bit faster by actually spamming the button. Then you just light the torch and you go here. Now you're supposed to scare the boss off of the ledge, but if you drop the torch here and then pick it up again, if you then pick it up again at the right timing, then he's just gonna fall off by himself. Because this cutscene is supposed to trigger when you actually hold the torch with the Colossus very close to the edge, so you pretty much recreate that. And I jumped immediately on the Colossus, which is good. I just don't really have a good grip. Okay, there we go. Sometimes re-grabbing just gives you the right grip again. If you try to shuffle around your character, you're not going to get a good grip. So you basically just have to let go of the grip button and you have to grip again. Hopefully not falling off. So yeah, you can see that the Colossus is basically tiny, but it's still a Colossus. Now coming up next is Pelagia, and this boss made me frisbee my Shadow of the Colossus disc across the room. Cause he's stupid. Like, he's probably gonna act really nicely now, but he can be really annoying when you just cannot jump off of him on the platforms you wanna go. Like, this game has a lot of platforming, actually. So you wanna jump on the helmet here. Alright. Oh, hopefully not falling off here. Alright. I'm gonna wait a little bit before he's done shaking, because I don't want to be falling off. Okay. Alright. Well, I barely made it up here, but that's good enough for me. If I would have missed that jump, I would have been kind of upset, but yeah. Now he's supposed to jump up here, but he's just not doing it. This is one of the reasons why this boss is such a troll. We'll just wait, I guess. Okay, there we go. That only took forever. Now there is a very specific one cycle you can do here, but it's just ridiculous. So I'm just gonna do 2 full stabs and be done with it. I'm not even gonna try the one cycle, because if you fail that in the wrong way, it's just bad. So I got on top of the building again, except that it got destroyed, but it's fine. He's supposed to destroy the building every time you stab him twice or so. I'm not sure what he's doing right now. I guess he's gonna shoot me, so I'm gonna take cover. No? Okay, whatever. I guess he's not gonna shoot me. I can still jump on the helmet. Wow. Come on. There we go. That is just as good. You gotta have a lot of patience if you wanna speedrun this game, because you can just lose a lot of time just because of one little thing. It's just very annoying sometimes. So now I just need to make him move to the next platform. When you hit his teeth on his head, he's gonna move in the direction you want him to go, like in the direction the teeth are pointing. A little bit, at least. Just gotta ride this Colossus to victory. A little bit more to the left, please. Now this is very annoying sometimes. Yeah. jumping back on this building can be really difficult. Because sometimes you just walk over the edge without giving a crap, but yeah. There we go. That was a pretty nice Pelagia. It can get really bad when you just decide to meme it up and just realign him constantly every time and waste a bunch of time for no reason. Whee! So the next Colossus is also a Colossus you can one cycle, but it's kind of easy to one cycle because the damage on this one is not as precise. You can just do sort of kind of whatever you wanna. Now, in order to get on top of this boss, you need to actually make him lower himself. And to do that, you have to shoot 3 of his air bubbles. So you just gotta line this up. If you do that correctly, he should already change his music. I think I got it, yeah. So the hardest part about this boss for me is actually getting on the wing. Because it's kind of hard to align the horse with the Colossus, and then you have to jump off of the moving horse onto a moving Colossus. And he's always changing his direction as well. Nah. It was not a good attempt, but let's just go with it. Alright, so I made it on the wing. Hardest part is done. Now it's just a matter of not falling off at the top here, or completely missing one cycling this boss. Alright. So in order to do the one cycle, you need to do like one full stab and one stab that is not full. And that's it. I cannot see anything. It's a good thing that I grabbed on, otherwise I would have fallen off. That was interesting. So again, just do a full stab and then not a full stab. Basically almost full. And that's it. Next sigil, please. I guess I'll finish it off with a jump stab because it's flashy. Wow, jump please. Would you... There. It's not that hard to hit the sigil. There's only 3 more bosses left, so that's good. The next boss is kind of tricky. It basically involves you jumping off of the boss. This boss, well, don't do that. So this boss, it's a lion, and casually you would have to jump across like maybe 10 different pillars. But if you jump off of the boss on the final pillar, you save a lot of time. But it's really tricky to jump off of the boss because he's not really meant to be stand on, so you're gonna get shaken off very easily. I'm just gonna whistle here to catch your attention. Hopefully it's gonna speed it up a little bit. I don't see the boss yet. So you see all these pillars here on the scenery, and I'm standing next to the final pillar right now. So I roll here. Oh shit. That was almost it, actually. If only I would have grabbed the pillar, that would have been super good. It's really difficult to jump off the boss. Really difficult. And he also likes to unalign himself. So it's just, he gets in the wrong position, and then, yeah, it's really impossible to jump on him. Because you can jump on him, but you're just not gonna make it to the pillar. Just get over here again, please. I mean, I could restart, but I don't know if that's a good idea. I'm just gonna hope that I get it soon. Come on. Wow. And he staggered me again. Casually, it would take me about 4 minutes to get on the pillar, so you can see that I would still save time even though I didn't get it yet. I mean, if I get it, that is. Well. That's interesting. Camera, please. Nope. Well, I think it would have been better to restart, because he's just not... He's not in the right position to jump off of him. So yeah. Okay, there we go. That saved like no time at all. But hey, at least it didn't lose time over casual strats. So you can see it would save a lot of time. If I would get it first try, it would be just such a huge time save. And it's just swag to do it, so why not? So jump off the pillar. What? Okay, whatever. I barely didn't make it over the wall. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Alright. Now, I'm getting tips from the game how to play it. Climb the tower and draw the Colossus' anger. Because I didn't do it intentionally, like how they intended it, they thought, oh, maybe this player needs some help, you know? But if he knocks down this building, his armor will get removed, much like the Bull Colossus from earlier. Okay, I got on the back first try, but okay, that's good. Actually, that's not really good. I thought I had it, but I didn't stab the boss, apparently. Okay. It's not that bad to get on the Colossus. That's fine. Should take about 5 stabs. The good thing with the Bull Colossus is that it only takes 2 stabs. I don't really know why this one has more health. There we go. There's no way to avoid this black spaghetti. It just happens. So 2 more bosses left. The Colossus number 15 and 16. Now the threats for this boss are kind of difficult, but I'll try to do it. I'm not very good at it. What you want to do here is you want to climb on the belt and then somehow launch yourself up to his chest, but it's just tricky. Okay, that's good. Wow, first try. That is really, really difficult to do, and I don't even understand how it works. So just do it. That saved a lot of time. It's actually pretty good. Now my PB in this game is like a 106, so I might just beat that during the marathon, you know? Like the last PB I did on this Shadow of the Colossus, I PB'd by like 1 minute, but I was really not happy with it. It was just such a bad run. So the boss is still not dead. He has 1 more sigil to go. And there's a little weak spot on his arm, and if you poke this, he will drop his sword. And once he drops his sword, you can actually go to his hand, and there's another sigil on his hand to damage. So you can actually drop down to his hand, but yep, first try, why not? Alright. And that's the boss done. That was pretty fast. It only took 2 minutes, and it was one of the harder bosses, in my opinion. For me, it was a hard boss. So that's pretty great. Well, unfortunately, sub 1 hour is not possible anymore. RIP. Eventually I'll get sub 1 hour. I'm pretty sure. Now for the final boss, there is some weird strats that you can do in order to avoid his attacks and avoid a lot of the platforming and dodging you have to do. But I'm gonna try it once, and if I don't get it, I'll continue casually. And later on there's some other speedrun strats again coming into play. So you wanna align yourself with that pillar when he shoots so you don't get hit. I don't think this is good, but we'll see. I made it pretty far though. Okay. This is really good. This skips a lot, actually. Normally you have to go through a lot of tunnels to reach this point. Well, maybe not a lot, but that... yeah, whatever. Yeah, a few. So that's the final boss. And there's a few tricks that you can do. I'm gonna do one of the easier ones, but it's gonna save a bit of time already. First off, you need to climb up a little bit. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna shoot his shoulder from pretty far below, and what it does is, okay, don't jump that direction. If I shoot his shoulder, he's gonna lower his hand, then I'm gonna jump to his hand, and then from his hand, eventually I'll jump to his shoulder. You'll see. Okay, that's the hand. Now he's gonna lower his hand. I'll jump to that. I'm not sure why I'm holding on to his ring though. It's not really that great. I think it's best to just wait it out. Okay, that's better. Okay, now I'm on his arm, and if he's gonna pull up his arm, I'm gonna jump off to his face. There we go. That's basically, you're adding the momentum from the hand with your jump again. So you get a higher jump. This boss only has one sigil, so... Let's see if I can actually get the good grip. And get ready on time, actually. Well, soon, anyway. After he's done shaking. The time is gonna stop when I do the final stab to the boss, which is like 2 stabs away. Hopefully I can, yeah, this should be fine. Like, you're supposed to get a good grip on the boss, so this is gonna be time. Yeah, PB hype.